Hey there, Central Ohio. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Friday for your 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. It's been a week of quiet, nice weather around Central Ohio. It started out feeling like fall, but it's certainly ending the week feeling like summer, and that pattern is only going to increase in terms of that summer-like feel as we head through the weekend. So let's go ahead and dive right into that latest forecast. We're looking at continued warmer than average weather and lots of sunshine heading its way through Central Ohio. Temperatures will be rising to near 90 by the end of the weekend and into the early part of next week. And unfortunately, especially for those farmers and really anyone with a lawn across Central Ohio, rain is not looking likely anytime soon. We've gotten to the part of the year where a lot of the local pools have already started to close, and well, unfortunately, you really could use it this weekend and into next week with that summer heat returning to the region. This afternoon, already getting warm, but not quite as warm as things will be by the end of the weekend. We're up to that near 80-degree mark here as at 2 o'clock in Columbus, 79 the temperature right now. Light winds out there, not super humid. It feels comfortable, just warm across the region, and that pattern continues for the rest of the day today, but the heat will keep rising as we head to the weekend. There are a few 80s out there: 81 Newark, 80 Lancaster, 80 Circleville, 81 Chillicothe, and even as warm as 84 in MacArthur at this hour. Those temperatures have about 3 or 4 more degrees we could gain this afternoon. I don't think MacArthur's going to get to 88, but you guys are definitely going to be on the other side of 85 here in the next couple of hours. In Columbus, our temperature is expected to peak around the low to mid 80s this afternoon, up to about 83, 84. Then we'll see temperatures start to slowly work their way down, with clear skies continuing as we head through tonight. Of course, that's great weather for football out there. We'll take a closer look at the 1st and 10 forecast. Warm-ups out there, really no problem. It's a little bit toasty. You need the water, you need the Gatorade. Keep that in mind as you head out there tonight. We'll be in the low 80s. Kickoff near that 80-degree mark. Lots of sunshine. By the half, we're down into the mid-70s, and the time you're heading home later tonight, low 70s, eventually dropping into the 60s and some 50s as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. Elsewhere outside the city, here's a look at kickoff temperatures around the state of Ohio. Outside of Columbus, will be a little bit cooler. There'll still be some 80s, especially in those southern counties, but once you get north of 70, mostly into the mid and upper 70s. So again, feels like fall football weather, but more like beginning of season football weather versus later in the year. We had some really nice weather the past couple of weeks, but it's going to be a little bit toastier today. If you're out there early, especially for warm-ups, keep in mind you may need a little bit of sunscreen. UV index still on the high side this time of the year. Level 6 out there, not as high as it has been, but enough you want to use that sun protection as well. And if you're out there with the allergy sufferers, well, the ragweed has been the really only offender recently, still up to a moderate level, with grasses and molds hanging around in the low category. As far as rain chances, that also hangs around in the low category, and unfortunately only been getting lower with every update we get here of the weather information. We're sitting at basically no chance for rain today or tomorrow, but as we head into late Saturday, early Sunday, there's a small one, but this was 30% 3-4 days ago, dropped to 20. Now it's dropped to 10. So you can see the trend there. It's not going into the favor of rainfall. And then we're back to really no chance of rain. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, heading into next week. Not till Thursday does the rain chance start to rise again, but that only goes to 20. And it's in that part of the forecast that can definitely change between now and then. Overall pattern not looking good for rain. Drought is expanding across Ohio. Everywhere in the tan under those moderate drought conditions now. Severe drought in eastern portions of the state, and unfortunately this will probably keep expanding as we head toward next week. Monthly rainfall so far, not much of it. We picked up about a 1/4 inch early in the month, and then it's been nothing since then. We're now closing in on almost an inch below where we should be for this time of the year, and again, rain not looking likely as we head into the next couple of days, really even the next couple of weeks. Here's a look at your radar out there. Dry across central Ohio. Really not even much cloud cover pushing through the region here at this hour. We take a bigger view here. There is a weather maker up to the northwest, Minnesota and Iowa, but that's not going to make it to our neck of the woods. So don't expect to see any, again, real chance for rain here in Ohio. Hour by hour forecast through the rest of this afternoon. We'll see a few clouds start to drift our way, but otherwise plenty of sunshine for those games tonight, and then clear skies as we head into the overnight hours. As we get into Saturday, we start the day off, lots of sunshine, beautiful morning, but then cloud cover picks up as we head into the afternoon. Look at the far northwestern side of the state, far top left side of your screen. See a little bit of green up there. Some moisture tries to make it to Ohio, but it just can't be sustained. Dries out. Again, rain chances not expected, but cloud cover will be around for the kickoff of that Buckeyes game on Saturday and throughout the game time. And then as we head into early Sunday, we still have that 10% chance of rain that just kind of hangs out in the forecast, but right now that's looking to be not a very big threat for rain. That pattern again continuing as we head into the next several weeks, and so is the above normal temperature pattern. We are getting back into that really warm air in addition to being really dry air across the region. Take a look at this. This was the past 2 weeks, mostly near to below normal in the forecast. Look at the next 10 days. All hanging out on the above normal side of the temperature spectrum. Really not even getting back close to normal until sometime not next week, but the week after next. So we're going to see this pattern of hot days continue. That really marks a continuation of something we've seen here in central Ohio since the 70s. The last day above 80 degrees starts to tick longer and longer into the year, and that heat sticks around longer and longer as well. Speaking of which, here's your 10 Weather Impact 7-day forecast. Heat building through the weekend. We go from 85 today all the way up to 89 by Monday. We're going to be near 90. I think we'll see some 90s early next week. So that heat is coming. Before we get to that hot weather, though, we've got the Buckeye game here on Saturday. Not bad. If you're out there tailgating early, it's going to be kind of toasty. We're talking mid-80s, but by kickoff, cloud covers helped us get down to about 80 degrees. Halftime in the mid-70s, and the fourth quarter wrapping up in the low 70s. Again, that heat sticks around as we head into next week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all up close to that 90-degree mark. Then temperatures after that go down just a smidge, but we're still looking to stay above average. We're not going to break this heat pattern, unfortunately, anytime soon, or this dry pattern here across central Ohio. And while it's not great weather for the farmers or the plants, it's good weather for football, though. We've got a great lineup as we head into this weekend. We start first under the lights. That's tonight. It's week 4 of high school football. And this week, the game of the week, we're taking to New Albany with the undefeated Golden Bears up against the 1-2 Eagles of Upper Arlington at New Albany. You can listen to that game on 97.1 The Fan. And it's Friday, which means tonight you can watch First and 10 for all the latest updates on those games across central Ohio. Of course, you can watch that here on 10 TV or stream it on 10 TV Plus. That'll be tonight after the 11 o'clock newscast there. Well, the short 11 o'clock newscast. And switching from high school to college, this week's in-state game will have all eyes from Ohio here on Columbus. The Ohio State Buckeyes are facing off against the Ohio University Bobcats after demolishing Grambling State last week. The Buckeyes might have their work cut out for them, though, as we take a look at this clip from 10 TV's Dom Taberry and 97.1 The Fan's Bobby Carpenter as they discuss OU's quarterback.
This guy is a throwing machine. He's thrown the ball very well in 2 ball games. They had the pass going against but he's also their leading rusher. This is a dual threat guy.
And OU is also coming off a win against West Virginia, so they've got some experience under the belt there. This afternoon, the Ohio State University is reminding Buckeye fans who do plan to attend tomorrow's game to dress accordingly. They're trying to do something cool. It's the first night game of the season, and the thing they're trying new is called a helmet strike game. Take a look. It'll look pretty cool if they can pull it off, so this map is here to help you do it, help create that helmet stripe pattern. It's gray around the sides of the shoe, then it gets a little tricky in that middle section, scarlet in the middle next to white, and then black on the very outside. You can see those pictures there again, where you need to wear what color in the stand, broken up by section. So make sure you look at your tickets and wear the right color before you head out. Then, of course, well, after the game for a full Buckeye breakdown, you can join us here on 10 TV. But right now, you can see a breakdown with Dom and Bobby on all of the information about this game. That will be on 10 TV Plus. You can check out a 10-minute game preview before the players hit the gridiron on Saturday. Again, it's a night game here this week. And then, of course, after the game, we'll have a full breakdown on wall-to-wall sports. That'll be after the news, the late news on Saturday night. Sports, well, they're not your thing. There's still plenty to enjoy across Ohio this weekend in the outdoors. But if you're planning to spend time outside this weekend, you better get ready to bug out. We're seeing a lot of spotted lanternflies across the region, originally from Asia. This little insect can destroy entire ecosystems. They first popped up in Ohio about 5 years ago, and lanternflies feed on crops and plants like grapevines, fruit trees, and hops. And unfortunately, they're spreading fast.
They are spreading. They are spreading rapidly. I'm not going to say that the war is lost, but they are a major invasive species at the moment that we are trying to get rid of.
Experts recommend repeat treatments on the bugs with insecticides or insecticidal soaps and removing host trees like the tree of heaven and grapevines. Then come winter, keep an eye out for eggs. You can report sightings through the Department of Agriculture or Natural Resources. And unfortunately, that's not the only bug causing issues heading into this weekend. There's a new warning out this afternoon from health experts who say the so-called kissing bug disease could be becoming endemic. Human cases are reported across the country. Here's CBS's Michael George with more.
A report is raising awareness about the spread of the potentially deadly Chagas disease in the U.S.
Kissing bugs are blood-sucking insects, just like mosquitoes and ticks, and they're responsible for spreading a parasite that can cause Chagas disease.
Dr. Sarah Hamer is a veterinary epidemiologist at Texas A&M University.
Chagas disease is certainly not new in the United States. We've had the kissing bug insect vectors, the Chagas parasite, infected wildlife, infected dogs, infected humans have all been around interacting for a long time.
The disease is already endemic to 21 countries in the Americas. Locally acquired human cases have been reported in 8 states.
I think it's important to emphasize that the risk is very low. This is exceedingly rare. So for most people, this is not something you should be worried about. The people who are at highest risk live in substandard housing, particularly in rural areas, and communities with limited access to pest control or screening. Hunters, campers, and other people who come into close contact with wildlife.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says diagnosing Chagas can be tricky. A person may have no symptoms when first infected, or mild ones like fever, fatigue, and body aches.
Many people don't know that they have Chagas disease until the chronic phase, which can be many years later. About 20 to 30% of infected people can develop serious problems years later, which include an enlarged heart, which can cause heart failure or an abnormal heart rhythm. They can also develop an enlarged esophagus or colon, which may interfere with gastrointestinal functioning.
There are anti-parasitic treatments for Chagas, which work best when started early. Michael George, CBS News.
And now to some environment news. As our world keeps getting warmer from climate change, the challenge is inspiring some creative solutions in a few cities. This bright red sculpture in Phoenix is a breath of fresh air. It's both a piece of art and a refuge from the heat. It stands in a public park, throwing whimsical patterns of shade. Inspired by the Chinese shadow puppetry, this sculpture is made from UV-resistant material that brings down temperatures underneath the sculpture. Calling the project Sombra Experiments in the Shade, the city commissioned 9 artists to tackle the heat with these temporary public structures.
The goal of Sombra Experiments in Shade is really to experiment, to try new materials, to try new design methods, to alter the way things are fabricated so that we can really test out what's going to work best here in Phoenix to reduce extreme urban heat here that we experience.
This project is also using technology from a mobile weather station. The team found that even a small shade structure can reduce a person's body temperature by as much as 40 degrees. And one solution to help with climate change can be clean energy from sources such as solar farms. And a Fairfield County solar farm project recently was approved by the state, but it's facing quite a bit of disapproval from some folks who live nearby. They tell 10 Investigates that they're gearing up to fight the farm's construction. Rochelle Aline talks with everyone involved and shows us the complex state law at the center of this fight.
It's no secret Melissa Connor loves living in Pleasantville.
I first moved to this property in '83.
I haven't seen a check come my way.
And her neighbor, Frank Martin, feels the same way.
My wife and I sat out the first night and watched a meteor shower. She had never seen it.
But they tell 10 TV they worry that the character of their community may change after a solar panel project got the green light to be built across from their homes.
What is your reaction to that? It's extremely disappointing.
According to developers, the Eastern Cottontail Solar Project would sit on about 1,500 acres of land. Plans show that it would allow for sheep grazing, generate hundreds of temporary and permanent jobs, and create enough power to run about 42,000 homes. Neighbors say while they understand the benefits, they worry that the panels could become dangerous during severe weather and impact their property values. We took those concerns to the company via email. In a statement, they said the panels should be able to withstand certain strong storms. And as far as home values, they pointed to several studies which claim these projects have no bearing on that.
Where does this leave you? Our group called Citizens for Fairfields, we will file to intervene by asking for a rehearing. And we will hope for a different outcome. We will hope that when we present them additional information, that they can see it differently. If that doesn't work out, then we will go to the next step.
What's the next step?
The Ohio Supreme Court.
As Central Ohio grows, people are going to say it's a consequence of progress, right? We need power, right?
Absolutely.
More people are moving here, and it has to go somewhere.
Right.
What is your response to that?
That's great, because we've been called NIMBYs over and over again. And I'll say, yeah, we are NIMBYs. We absolutely are. But I don't know whose backyard this belongs in, because it doesn't belong in anybody's backyard.
And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV.
Now retracting.
First up, NASA launched its Roscosmos cargo spacecraft carrying about 3 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the crew aboard the International Space Station. That was on Tuesday. The unpiloted Roscosmos Progress 93 supply spacecraft launched on a Soyuz rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. According to NASA, after the 2-day journey to the station, the spacecraft will dock autonomously on the aft port of the station's Zvezda module. NASA added the Progress 93 spacecraft will remain docked at the space station for approximately 6 months before departing for re-entry into Earth's atmosphere to dispose of trash loaded on it by the crew. Always cool to see a space launch there, especially at night. You just get a great view of those things out there. And finally, on this Friday, let's check out some fun news here. It's a panda party at the Smithsonian's National Zoo. Female panda King Bao will celebrate her 4th birthday with festivities that started at 9 a.m. Friday morning. King Bao arrived in D.C. along with her potential future mate Bao Li in mid-October of last year from the Chengdu Research Base of Giant Panda Breeding in Sichuan, China. Bao Li is also a relative of a former D.C. Zoo panda resident Bao Bao, who was born at the zoo in 2018. If you can't make it out to see those festivities in person, you can always catch the panda fun on the zoo's giant panda cam. And if you're having trouble telling Bao Li or King Bao apart, there are a few things to look out for. Bao Li is the larger of the two, with King Bao a fluffier panda, especially in the cheeks. As back bands, Bao Li's band is thicker, and King Bao has 2 dark patches on her upper left hip as a birthmark. Happy birthday to those pandas there. didn't seem too interested in that birthday cake, at least not at first. Opposite of me. I'd be going straight for that birthday cake, assuming it was good cake. You got to have a good cake. Can't have the whipped frosting. That's the bad stuff. You don't want any of that. Speaking of, though, bad stuff, it's never bad stuff here on 10 TV Plus, and it's never bad stuff on 10 TV News coming up later tonight either, because Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz, he'll be back to give you all the good weather heading into the weekend. And, of course, those football games tonight, he'll be out in the field with Dom Taberry reporting on our game of the week. We'll get you up to date on everything you need to know as we head into the weekend. But until then, you can find more online. That'll be at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.